I always keep an eye on the annual Apple Developers Conference, WWDC, in case there's anything whatsoever of interest to photographers, and the vast majority of the time I am bitterly disappointed. This year, however, there was a demonstration from David Hayward on the core image team of an update to Apple's built-in RAW photo processing library, all about leveraging the Apple Neural Engine to improve RAW demosaicing, noise reduction, sharpness, and color rendering. In this demonstration, they showed vastly improved AI denoising and sharpening, not just on iPhone photos, but on regular RAW files taken on regular cameras. If the results they showed proved to be an accurate demonstration of the power of RAW 9, it meant that Apple was about to make a serious dent in the market for expensive commercial AI denoising tools like DxO Photolab and Adobe's recently acquired Topaz Photo AI, ushering in a new era of mainstream AI denoising. So I decided to test it. Welcome along to the channel, friends. My name is Andy Hutchinson, and I'm a Gen X British/Australian tech journalist from back in the day, and a lifelong camera and photography nerd. Like all of my videos, this one is sponsor and affiliate free and made possible only by my long-suffering wife and these legends in my Patreon and Substack communities. Links in the description if you'd like to support independent, shill-free content that's heavy on sarcasm, medium rare on descriptive language, and light on manufactured enthusiasm. Before we get into it, an important caveat. macOS 27 is obviously currently only a beta release, and the operating system and RAW 9 could well have changed and indeed improved by the time it's released this autumn. So bear that in mind if this video is more than 3 months old when you view it. And now, for you folks with the attention spans destroyed by prolonged TikTok doom scrolling, here is a summary of my findings, up front the way you like it. Apple's RAW 9 is a genuine upgrade, but compared to leading RAW editors such as DxO Photolab and Adobe Lightroom, it's an evolution, not a revolution. On a normally exposed, properly noisy file from a supported camera, it's excellent. And since it's baked into the OS for free, you can expect to see it in all the free and budget photo editors. In its current form, it's a binary on or off tool with no strength dial on denoising, and it offered moderate luminance and ISO noise reduction on my test shots along with excellent sharpening. It is a huge improvement over RAW 8, which relied on Apple's traditional algorithmic demosaicing and denoising pipeline rather than machine learning running on the neural engine. My tests showed consistent and sympathetic noise removal and improved sharpening across several camera systems, and even decent results on unsupported RAWs converted to DNG. Not all cameras and RAW file types are supported, but on compatible systems, it's a free upgrade you'll just start getting, no plugin or subscription required. And if you're a photographer, it's a huge advantage to being a Mac user. So that's the summary. Now let's dig into the details. macOS is unique because it bakes RAW processing right into the operating system, whereas it's a third-party add-on on Windows and Linux. It has never been a very comprehensive library that supports every digital camera ever released, but it covers the mainstream bodies, 784 of them at present, well enough that many of the photo editors in the App Store run on it. But since RAW 8 was released in 2017, it really is long overdue for a significant upgrade, and with the move to an Apple Silicon-only operating system in Golden Gate, they decided that time was now. Fortunately, Apple have decided to embrace the machine learning denoise models already found in many top-tier editors like DxO's Deep Prime and the AI denoise built into Adobe Sensei-powered tools. It's not just denoising, though. That is the headline feature. RAW 9 also brings improvements to demosaicing, sharpening, and color rendering, while existing controls such as exposure and contrast benefit from this new processing pipeline. There's one highly significant detail mentioned in the WWDC introduction to RAW 9, which is that Apple's pipeline does demosaicing and denoising at the same time. This is the same way that DxO went in Photolab and Pure Raw, though they do also treat chromatic aberration at the same time, and RAW 9 does not. So RAW 9 looked pretty cool, and I wanted to test it, but there were a couple of small issues to overcome first. Firstly, there is literally no photo editor available that supports RAW 9 yet, which makes testing RAWs problematic. Secondly, it's only available in the beta releases of macOS Golden Gate, and since it is a beta OS, the standard advice is to never install it on your main production machine. I only own one Apple Silicon Mac, my main machine, an M2 MacBook Pro Max, and so if I wanted to test, I had to throw caution to the wind and install anyway. I have ADHD though, so we're covered there. The important thing is that RAW 9 is opt-in. Nothing uses it by default. Not preview, not quick look, nothing. It's to sit in there unused until an app specifically asks for it. So the next problem was how to test it. And since my coding skills didn't progress much further than 10, print JSON is a twat, 20, go to 10, I decided to create a test platform just for this video using Claude Code. So with the macOS 27 Developer Beta 4 up and running on my MacBook, and after fixing the total loss of network and internet post-installation, I fired up the test app and ran a batch of raw images through the system. There are currently 69 supported cameras in the beta, and most of them are modern Sony mirrorless, Panasonic compacts, and a handful of Canon R-series bodies. But there's a workaround for everything else. Convert to GNG first, and RAW 9 will process it through a generic path. The first thing I tested was some Fuji X-T5 RAW files. Couple of reasons for this. Firstly, the X-T5 is one of that small subset of cameras with that full RAW 9 support in the beta. And secondly, Apple have specifically singled out Fuji RAWs for special attention in RAW 9 on account of the non-standard X-Trans sensor. Incidentally, I'll bundle all these files up into sample sheets and put them on my Google Drive. If you'd like to pixel peek them yourself, the link will be in the description. So here's a cropped sample sheet showing how the denoise and detail looked. And while it's not a startling difference between RAW 8 and RAW 9, it is most definitely an improvement. AI denoising is working well on the flat areas, but what caught my eye was the greatly improved detail retention present in the RAW 9 close-up of the insect. Noise has also been greatly reduced in that pale band in the middle and the light green area below it. And here's a second shot where the improvements to detail and noise removal are evident. Look in particular at the close-up of the leaf. It's clean, but it also respects the photographic source and doesn't wipe out the character of the photograph. Out of interest, I decided to see how these samples stacked up against the current best AI denoising model on the market, DxO's Deep Prime. Bear in mind that this isn't a like-for-like denoise test. Deep Prime XT3 is doing lens correction and its own sharpening/optics module on top of denoise, and it's a paid-for dedicated tool with years of per-camera profiling. As you can see, DxO has much better noise removal, but I would argue that the RAW 9 shot, top center here, is going toe-to-toe in terms of sharpness in the Deep Prime version. And yes, I did use DxO's lens sharpening tool during the conversion set to standard strength. The next batch of photographs are all Canon 7D2 files in the .cr2 RAW format. These range in ISO from 2400 to 6400, and some of them are extremely soft, which is a challenge to any RAW demosaicing tool. On normally exposed frames, even at ISO 6400, RAW 9 wins. This shot of two sulfur-crested cockatoos was shot at ISO 6400 on a crappy Canon 70-300mm zoom at full stretch. RAW 9 is noticeably cleaner and has more detail. It's not just smoothed. I have a similarly awful shot I took of the London skyline from the top of the Shard skyscraper, and in this one, RAW 9 has much improved detail retention. The silver gull down at my local beach has greatly benefited from the new RAW 9 library. Note the greatly reduced ISO noise, improved detail, and also improved colour and contrast on the bird's plumage. I went looking for sample RAW files from other supported cameras and found some great Nikon and Sony test images. The D850 image was almost perfect test shot material, being taken at ISO 51200 and featuring some fine detail. As you can see, RAW 9 has done a sensational job here. If you look at the close-up of the book spines, it has cleaned up most of the noise, kept that text beautifully crisp, and just as importantly, not sucked all the character out of the image. The Sony A6400 RAWs I tested fared equally well, with strong noise removal evident and excellent detail, contrast, and colour. There's no doubt at all that RAW 9 is a welcome improvement over RAW 8, but then after nearly a decade of stagnation, it really ought to be. Apple's move to a fully Apple Silicon-based OS provided them with the opportunity to leverage the power of the neural engine to do local-only, on-device machine learning image enhancement. The most impressive results in my tests came from cameras on the supported list, the X-T5, D850 and A6400, as opposed to the shots we had to convert to DNG first, which is to be expected. On those shots, we can see the RAW 9 model working at the full extent of its capabilities and doing a superb job of cleaning up color noise, luminance noise, and high ISO noise. It works best when it's the first thing to touch a noisy file from a camera that has a proper profile for. It struggles on unsupported cameras in dark conditions, and it's largely redundant on ProRAW because Apple's computational photography stack already performs substantial denoising before the RAW's even written. Apple's decision to run demosaicing and denoising simultaneously is a welcome and hugely beneficial decision because it doesn't infer structure in an image that's actually just noise. In other words, the denoiser cleans the noise before the demosaicer can mistake it for detail. So you don't get one stage inventing errors only for the next stage to set it in stone when it's output. There are no downsides to this update from Apple, and the inclusion of an on-device AI RAW pipeline inside the operating system will only benefit photographers using Macs. Apps like Pixelmator, Photomator, and Nitro will all benefit from the update, and even default apps like Preview could be enhanced with these new capabilities. And that's about all I've got. It's a beta, and it's likely to change, so don't email me in October telling me it's different. But the moment AI RAW processing stops being a paywall premium feature and becomes part of an operating system, it's no longer a product, it's infrastructure. And that'll do us for this early look at the RAW 9 pipeline in macOS Golden Gate Beta 4. Are you excited by this upgrade from Apple? Or a Windows user wondering when your OS is going to bake something like this in instead of adverts in the start menu? Do let me know in the comments section below. If you've gotten value from this video, then please give it a like and consider subscribing for more photo, video, and drone-related content from me. And of course, if you'd like to support independent, sponsor-free content, you'll find links to my Patreon and Substack communities in the description below, where you'll also find a heap of members only and behind the scenes content. Till the next time, guys. Ta-ta.